The old lady just goes to take her memorial photo. She asks the photographer to make her look younger, but when the shutter clicks, she magically becomes 50 years younger, not realizing she's now young again. She walks out of the photo studio. She sees the last bus about to leave. She sprints and catches the bus. The driver sees someone knocking on the door. He stops and opens the door. She smiles and thanks the young man. The driver is shocked. This little girl just called him young man. She just sits down. When some trendy-dressed, emo-style boys come over, they flirt with her. One even sends her love signals. Malsoon is confused by their attention. Do young people have such strange tastes now? They tease her for being funny. One says he likes her. Malsoon looks surprised. She scolds him for not using polite speech. Hearing this, the emo boy looks confused. He asks if she's at 2010's grandma. Malsoon says she's actually in her 40s. They think she means a college senior. They quickly say they're seniors too. He says they're all college seniors. Malsoon yells, "You idiot." Malsoon can't control herself. She slaps him several times. She scolds him for wearing dark glasses. Then she snatches his sunglasses off. The punk guy looks shocked. He thinks today's girls are so fierce. He realizes his flirting attempt failed soon. Malsoon notices something strange when putting sunglasses back for him. She sees a young girl's face in the lens. That familiar yet strange face gives her a big fright. Malsoon quickly turns to the car window. The reflection shows a youthful face. She can hardly believe her eyes. She pinches her cheek hard. The sharp pain tells her this isn't a dream. She thinks she must be going senile. She rushes to a pharmacy for medicine. Seeing her panic, a man asks if she's okay. She urgently asks if she looks like a girl. The man doesn't hear clearly. She asks how old she looks. The man guesses about 20, but Malsoon doesn't believe him. She turns to ask the pharmacist. She threatens the pharmacist to answer honestly, or she'll tear his mouth apart. The pharmacist nervously says she looks 19. Malsoon thinks the world has gone crazy. She grabs some pills from the table and swallows them. The bitter taste makes her realize this isn't a dream. Everything happening is real. She suddenly remembers what the photographer said about making her look 50 years younger. She rushes back to that photo studio to demand answers. But now it's a restaurant. The owner says her shop has been here for 10 years. She's never heard of any youth photo studio. This is too strange. She insists the studio must be here. The owner scolds her for being rude and not using honorifics. Malsoon feels completely lost, remembering how her family laughed at her own funeral. She suddenly wakes up, not wanting to scare her family. She stays at a public bathhouse for the night. But she notices her chronic shoulder pain is gone. Her legs feel strong. Her body moves lightly. She can even bend backward easily. Other women watch her with envy as she prepares to leave. She sees thousands of missed calls from her family. She doesn't care at all, because just a few days ago she heard them planning to send her to a nursing home. They clearly want her gone, but pretend to care about her. This makes her angrier the more she thinks. She sees an old, lonely man shaking nearby. Then, Malsoon has an idea. Maybe this is fate giving her a second chance at life. So she decides to live for herself. This time, she takes out all her savings. First she gets an Audrey Hepburn haircut at the salon. Then she goes shopping like crazy. She buys several expensive, fancy outfits. She throws away all her old, worn-out clothes. This big spending spree isn't just about making up for the past. It's about finding freedom in her heart. As she walks lightly down the street, she realizes life can be so beautiful. She sees a baby. Malsoon feels like she sees endless possibilities. She starts playing with the baby in her own way. She jokes about tasting the baby's pacifier. After tasting it, she says it's not that good. Malsoon is lost in her own world. She doesn't notice the baby's mother giving her a dirty look. She awkwardly puts the pacifier back. After a short break, she starts spending money wildly again. After getting a full set of clothes and bags, she now needs to find a new place to live, to stay in a familiar environment. She remembers Mr. Park, who, likes her, has a house for rent. But when she arrives, only his daughter is home. Mr. Park's daughter asks suspiciously how she knew about the rental. Malsoon says she saw a notice outside. The daughter says that notice was removed years ago. Malsoon quickly lies that she saw it years back. The daughter looks confused. She just says, She asks for 500,000 won per month, including 2 meals. Malsoon asks if they think she's stupid. Just then Mr. Park comes home. He agrees to a cheaper rent, but still needs to check her ID. When Mr. Park asks her name, she makes one up. She says her name is Audrey. Mr. Park asks, Audrey, because Malsoon loves Audrey Hepburn. He checks the name again. Malsoon quickly changes it to Duri. Her full name is Oh Duri. As Malsoon prepares to move in, Mr. Park stops her. She thinks he recognized her. But Mr. Park just says, "Remember, rent must be paid first." After settling in, she writes a letter. She slips it under her family's door. She tells them not to look for her. The world is so big she wants to see it. She tells them not to worry. But she turns around and bumps into her son Hyunchul coming home from work. Luckily, with her new look, her son doesn't recognize her. Her young body doesn't change her 70-year-old heart. She still loves going to the senior coffee shop. She sees her old rival showing off on stage. The woman even winks at Mr. Park. Malsoon feels competitive. Not wanting to lose, she goes on stage too. She decides to sing. Now she has a young girl's clear voice. But she sings an old classic song. The melody starts. It feels like opening a door to the past. The elderly audience looks dreamy-eyed. They get lost in old memories. Two young people are also drawn to the song. One is her grandson Jiha, the other is Sung-woo. A TV music show director passing by, Sung-woo is struggling to find the right singer. After hearing Malsoon's nostalgic and soulful voice, he realizes she's exactly the person he's been looking for. The song ends. The audience claps loudly when Malsoon waves to thank them. She's shocked to see her grandson Jiha in the crowd. Afraid he'll recognize her, she quickly runs off the stage. Jiha and Sung-woo chase after her, but can't find her. After this, Malsoon stays home, but Jiha still finds her. When he visits to learn about her family, she accepts Jiha's invitation to dinner. After a few drinks, Jiha starts feeling tipsy. He asks why she's so shy and won't look at him. Malsoon sighs and says he's the one who can't make eye contact. But then Jiha looks at her seriously. This feels strangely familiar to Malsoon. She suddenly remembers. These were the exact words her husband said when they first met. She thinks to herself, even his eyes are the same. It must be genetics. Jiha says he has a request and begs her not to refuse. He asks if it's okay. Malsoon panics. This is exactly how her husband confessed to her decades ago. Jiha invites her to join him, but Malsoon firmly says no. She insists it's absolutely impossible, unless they step over her dead body. She stammers that it's completely out of the question. She shouts, "No way." Surprisingly, Jiha accepts her dramatic rejection. He thinks asking Malsoon to sing in his band would be wasting her talent. Malsoon asks confused, "Sing." Malsoon suddenly realizes, seeing the awkward situation, she calms down. After checking several times, she understands Jiha just wants her to be the lead singer in his band, nothing more. Jiha keeps blaming himself. He says his mom has heart disease. The whole family blames grandma. That's why grandma left home. But he thinks it's all his fault because he wasn't good enough. That's why his mom got sick. Seeing her favorite grandson so upset, Malsoon decides to join his band. Malsoon stops him and says, "Okay." She agrees to cooperate. She says she'll sing. She confirms again that she'll sing. But Malsoon is still too naive. The next day at the rehearsal, the scene before her eyes is hard to believe. All band members have unique styles. They're lost in their own special music style. Now Malsoon understands her daughter-in-law's struggles. She patiently tries to teach these rebellious kids. She asks if their families know about this. She scolds them for wasting time on this nonsense. They get good food every day, yet they focus on useless things. They argue she doesn't understand their generation's music. Malsoon says songs should touch hearts, not just be loud noises. If listeners aren't interested, the singer's passion means nothing. She asks if anyone gets excited by their songs. Jiha asks what song she wants to sing. Malsoon hums a melody. She starts singing to herself. Under Malsoon's big changes, Jiha's band changes their old style. They try street performances. Their retro sad songs and strange group attract crowds. The song ends. People clap loudly. They earn their first money. Excited, they go to a pork restaurant to celebrate. They ask Malsoon's age. She lies and says she's 20. They shout in surprise. They realize she's younger than them. They thought she was older. They tease her for acting so tough. Turns out she's just a kid. They tell her to call them Big Brother. They hurry her up. They cheer for her to say Big Brother. There's no way out now. Malsoon has to do something against her pride. She forces herself to say Big Brother. After several street performances, they become somewhat famous locally. They even get invites from nightclubs. But Malsoon still can't accept her age. On the subway home, she sees someone breastfeeding. She can't help but make rude comments. She asks if it's breast milk. The woman says the baby gets diarrhea from breast milk. Malsoon bluntly says her milk lacks nutrients. She lectures that not all milk is the same. She says poor breast milk causes baby diarrhea. Easy digestion leads to normal bowel movements. Watery milk makes babies have bad diarrhea. They also get fussy from hunger. This makes the breastfeeding woman very uncomfortable. She turns away and ignores Malsoon. Malsoon keeps muttering about drinking cow's milk. She sighs that the baby is pitiful. The woman finally snaps. The woman can't take it anymore. She yells, "As if your milk is the best in the world." Then she storms off angrily. Malsoon mutters that hers really isn't bad. But Malsoon's earlier behavior catches the attention of talent scout Sung-woo, again wanting to work with her. He follows Malsoon off the subway. He trails her looking for a chance to talk. But Malsoon mistakes him for a dangerous creep. She quietly follows him to the street corner. Just when he thinks he lost her again, Malsoon suddenly appears holding a dried fish. She demands to know if he's following her. She asks who he really is. Malsoon sharply questions his identity. She yells that he's following her like a lovesick puppy. Sung-woo awkwardly says she has a funny way of joking. He explains he saw her perform before and thought she was special, completely different from other girls today. So he wants to invite her to a radio show. Malsoon cuts him off. She warns him to leave while she's still being nice and go somewhere cool to calm down. Malsoon thinks the man is just a pervert. She doesn't want to deal with him. She puts away her weapon and starts to leave. But Sung-woo doesn't want to lose this golden opportunity. He accidentally tears Malsoon's mask. Just then a police car happens to pass by. Malsoon instantly turns into an actress and runs to the officers. She cries and makes the story sound worse than it is. The officer immediately treats Han Sung-woo as a pervert and arrests him. Han Sung-woo shouts that he's innocent. He keeps denying it. Seeing himself trapped by the officers, Han Sung-woo quickly says they know each other. The officer turns to ask Oh Malsoon. Oh Malsoon firmly says she doesn't know him. As she leaves, poor Han Sung-woo still asks for her contact info. Luckily this is just a movie, or else he'd be in big trouble. Oh Malsoon sighs that men always think with their lower half. She wonders why they ruin their lives for such a small thing. To thank Oh Malsoon for her help, Ban Ji-ha invites her to his home. Seeing her daughter-in-law and granddaughter so happy, Oh Malsoon feels strangely sad. She's been gone for so long, yet they seem perfectly fine without her. Then she passes her old room. She says she was raised by her grandma and misses her, so she asks to see the room. Seeing her pleading eyes, Ban Ji-ha gives in. He takes her to Oh Malsoon's room while he prepares dinner. She quickly finds her pension passbook. She grabs the passbook. She thinks they froze her card to force her to come back. If they don't care about her, she'll just take the bank book and leave. At dinner that evening, Oh Malsoon's comments about the food make her daughter-in-law miserable. She wonders why these words sound so familiar. Then the door opens. Hyun-chul comes home from work. Oh Malsoon casually says, "You're back." Oh Malsoon stands up to greet him without thinking. She almost gives herself away. She quickly makes an excuse and hides in the bathroom. The family seems happy together, but they actually reported Oh Malsoon missing the day after she disappeared. Soon the police find a clue. They track bank withdrawals and check the ATM camera footage. The person always hides under an umbrella. They suspect Oh Malsoon was kidnapped by this person. But Mr. Park recognizes the umbrella in the footage. It looks just like Oh Do-ri's umbrella. While Oh Malsoon is out, he sneaks into her room to search. He finds clothes and shoes Oh Malsoon used to wear. He even finds the dentures he gave her last year. Mr. Park is sure the new tenant, Oh Do-ri, must have hurt Oh Malsoon that night. He plans to take revenge for his love. As Oh Malsoon enters the yard, she sees her dentures hanging on the clothesline. Just as she wonders why, Mr. Park slowly stands up behind her with a fire poker, ready to attack. The result is predictable. Young and strong, Oh Malsoon easily overpowers old Mr. Park. She ties him up and throws him on the ground. She yells at the crazy old man, "What are you doing, scaring people with a fire poker at night?" But Oh Malsoon softens. She removes the stocking from his mouth. She teases him, saying she threw Oh Malsoon into the Han River to feed the fish. Mr. Park begs her to kill him too. He says without Oh Malsoon, he's like a dead man. Oh Malsoon asks why he cares so much about that old woman. Mr. Park scolds her. "You don't understand," he says. She doesn't know how beautiful Oh Malsoon used to be. Mr. Park's parents died when he was young. He lived in Oh Malsoon's house. They called each other master and servant. Life was hard back then, but Oh Malsoon's smile made everything better. Hearing his confession, Oh Malsoon feels sorry for him. She moves her face closer. "How about now? Do you feel better?" Mr. Park asks nervously what she's doing. He tells her to stop teasing him and just finish him off. Oh Mal soon complains. You can't even recognize me. Why talk nonsense? And you said you could never forget me. Hearing Oh Mal soon's words, Mr. Park studies her carefully for a long time. Finally, he recognizes the woman who once made him crazy about her. This young girl before him, isn't she exactly how Miss Oh Mal soon looked in her youth? Mr. Park hesitantly calls out Miss. Oh Mal soon asks if he remembers. Now he calls out Oh Mal soon's real name. He excitedly shouts, Miss Oh Mal soon. Oh Mal soon explains everything to Mr. Park. She says she's now the lead singer in a band. Life is going great for her. But when she feeds Mr. Park shaved ice, her rival, who also likes Mr. Park, sees them. To avoid trouble, Oh Mal soon asks Mr. Park to tell her family that she's doing well not to call the police or look for her. She'll come back when the time is right, and to unfreeze her bank card. Hearing this, Oh Mal soon next door is thrilled, but she didn't expect Mr. Park to exaggerate. From now on she wants to live as she pleases. They ask who she's living with. Mr. Park asks, who else? Mr. Park confidently says, with me, of course. They think the uncle is funny. They think it's impossible. Mr. Park asks angrily if he's not good enough. He questions if they're looking down on him. He says Mal soon depends on him more. He says cheesily that their hearts belong to each other. Seeing Mal soon's murderous glare, Mr. Park quickly shuts up. To match Mal soon's energy, Mr. Park starts exercising hard too. He wants to feel young again. But his daughter notices something's up soon. After Mal soon and Jiha's band signs up for Korea's Got Talent, they learn Sung-woo's true identity. They expect punishment, but Sung-woo wants their talent. He forgives them, he doesn't blame her. He gives the special group full support. He cheers them on to reach the finals. He even provides professional recording space. This huge surprise makes Mal soon so happy. She hugs her 3 grandsons. She pats their bottoms to encourage them. She praises their good work. She says the brothers did well too. She gushes about how good they all are. She excitedly shouts they'll be on TV on competition day. Mal soon waits for a ride to the venue. A man in a leather jacket rides up to her on a motorcycle like a reckless teen. He asks how she likes it. Is it still not good enough? Mal soon asks if this old man has lost his mind. She scolds him for acting this way at his age. Boys change as they grow up. Mr. Park then hands Mal soon a bright red rose. The scene makes people around them laugh. They joke that Mal soon wants Mr. Park's pension money. Embarrassed, she quickly gets on his bike to leave. When they arrive, Mal soon tells Mr. Park to expect a great performance today. She'll sing like a real star. Mr. Park gives her a thumbs up for encouragement. Soon the competition begins. This is a song Mal soon wrote for herself. She remembers her painful past. Over 50 years ago, she sent her husband abroad to find work while pregnant. But after giving birth, she got news of his sudden death. Carrying her crying baby, she scattered her husband's ashes into the river with tears, as if throwing away her grief too. But life's hardships had just begun. To survive, to raise her child, she worked multiple jobs. She works day and night. When money is tight, she eats rotten vegetables others throw away. All the unspeakable hardships weigh on her heart, but she holds on to hope to light her child's future. Finally, her son becomes a great college professor. Maybe because during those hard years she fought life's struggles alone, playing both mom and dad. In old age, she grows stubborn and rude. She hits her son's enemies. She complains about her daughter-in-law's cooking. She fights with Jiha about his music dreams. This makes her daughter-in-law have a heart attack. After waking up, she says she can't see Mal soon. The doctor says they should live apart. At a family meeting, her granddaughter suggests sending her to a nursing home. Mal soon overhears this by accident. She feels hurt, but quietly accepts it. Though sad, she still goes to work at the cafe as usual. There she meets an old friend. She thinks they came to chat, but the friend angrily reminds her how their family once took her in. Yet Mal soon stole their soup recipe to raise her son Hyunchul. Faced with blame, Mal soon admits everything. She never expected her whole life would be spent for her children. But in her old age, she's being sent to a nursing home. On her way back, she's drawn to a photo studio's display window. Inside is a photo of Audrey Hepburn, her favorite star from her youth. So she walks into the studio. She wants to take a proper memorial photo. While she still looks presentable, she fixes her appearance. She asks the photographer to make her look younger. The photographer promises she'll look 50 years younger. Oh Mal soon thanks him for his kind words. She signals she's ready for the photo. He counts 1, 2, 3. Oh Mal soon sings on stage. The gentle melody carries all her emotions about her life. The audience is moved by her sincerity. They feel a deep connection. After the performance, the crowd applauds loudly. It's their direct response to the heartfelt emotions in her song. Clearly, they've won this competition. After the contest to blend in with the younger crowd, Mr. Park reluctantly takes Oh Malsoon to a water park. They try the artificial waves. He vows to be her protector, but one wave hits, and he's thrown onto the sand. Luckily, young Oh Malsoon fares better. Han Sung-woo appears like a knight and rescues her, but she accidentally cuts her foot. Back at home, Malsoon notices the skin around her wound has suddenly aged. They start experimenting on her foot. They find that bleeding makes her grow older. At least they've found a way to reverse it. But Malsoon doesn't want that. She finally has a chance to live again. She won't give it up easily. Just then Mr. Park's daughter bursts in. She sees her father acting close with a young girl. Awkward. You can guess. She yells at them to get out. She demands to know what they're doing. She scolds them for having no shame. She asks her father if he knows how old he is. How could he do this to someone young enough to be his granddaughter? Malsoon says it's not what they think. The daughter cries, "Dad, are you crazy?" She points at Malsoon, asking if she has nothing better to do than seduce an old man. Mr. Park tells her to stop. The daughter says he must be insane. She complains she gave up marriage to care for him. She sobs that it was her mother's dying wish. No matter how Mr. Park explains, he can't calm her anger. She keeps shouting about his shameful behavior. She also shames Malsoon for having no shame. She even says Malsoon is here to fight for the inheritance. Not wanting to ruin Mr. Park's relationship with his daughter, Malsoon decides to leave for now. With nowhere else to go, Malsoon ends up staying with Sung-woo. Sung-woo also has feelings for her. Night falls. Sung-woo prepares wine carefully, planning to spend a romantic evening with her. Sung-woo asks Malsoon if she has a boyfriend. Hearing this, Malsoon thinks the moment she feared has come. She takes a sip of wine, then starts opening up to him. She says she has been a widow for some time. Her son is already grown up and married. She also lives with an old man who likes her, but she just fought with his daughter. Hearing Malsoon's shocking words, Sung-woo thinks she's joking. He asks her playfully, "Besides the old man living with his daughter, what kind of men do you like?" Malsoon says any man who can feed his family and is good at night activities. Sung-woo quickly grabs a towel to clean her up. In the end, Sung-woo drinks too much and passes out on the couch. After 70 years of life experience, Malsoon easily sees through Sung-woo's little plan. She sees everything clearly in her heart, but she doesn't say it out loud. She chooses to enjoy this rare warmth and care for now. The next day, Mr. Park sees, oh, Malsoon didn't come home all night. He feels very worried. So he tells the truth to her son Hyunchul. But this well-educated man looks like he can't believe it. In his eyes, Mr. Park's story sounds like a silly joke. Hyunchul calls his doctor friend for advice. He describes symptoms of a 70-year-old woman, asking if it's depression or dementia. He even calls a classmate who studies dementia, though he says he doesn't believe it. After going home, he looks at his childhood photos without thinking when he sees a photo of his young mother. He remembers the girl who visited matches her. The similarity shocks him. Even so, he still can't believe such a strange thing. News of Oh Malsoon staying at Han Sung-woo's place soon reaches Ban Ji-ha. He asks jealously, "Did you sleep with him?" She scolds him for talking like that. She says yes. They slept, and the AC felt nice and cool. It felt amazing. Later, Malsoon has to calm Ji-ha down. Ji-ha, who was jealous earlier, gets confused after Malsoon slaps him a few times. Though she looks young, she often acts like someone much older. Ji-ha carefully asks if she's dating Sung-woo. Not wanting to lie, Malsoon shuts him down. She says sorry, but Ji-ha isn't her type. She complains he's not manly enough to confess his feelings. She scolds him for mixing work and personal life, and for not controlling his emotions. He only makes his friends uncomfortable. She says what she hates most is that he doesn't realize how great he is hearing this. Ji-ha instantly cheers up. They both laugh happily. But Malsoon has mixed feelings about Sung-woo. She talks to Mr. Park. He immediately understands her problem. He asks if she likes Sung-woo too, but she isn't sure. She hasn't felt this way in a long time. She says her heart races when she sees him. Mr. Park says she definitely likes him. He says he envies that man. As they talk, Oh Malsoon asks Mr. Park why she hasn't seen her rival lately. Mr. Park tells her the woman had a stroke and collapsed a few days ago. Oh Malsoon is shocked and asks how this could happen. Mr. Park sighs that at their age nobody knows what tomorrow will bring, though these matters of life and death don't concern her young self right now. As days pass by, Mal-soon and Han Sung-woo grow closer. They often go on sweet dates together. Han Sung-woo naturally asks Mal-soon what she thinks of him. Mal-soon hesitates and says some things are hard to say out loud. She worries their age gap might be too big. Han Sung-woo understands. He jokes that he might be too old. Mal-soon quickly says that's not true. She tries to explain. She's in her 40s, but her situation is special. Han Sung-woo suddenly says she smells like his mom. He says again how familiar the scent is, sadly adding he's never even seen his mother's face that night. Han Sung-woo gives Mal-soon a hairpin downstairs. He says it looks lovely on her. Mal-soon feels happy, but also full of endless worries, though she really wants this love because of who she is. She can't openly return Han Sung-woo's feelings. When she returns to the neighborhood, she learns her rival has suddenly passed away. Mal-soon sighs at how unpredictable life is, even though she fought with this old lady her whole life. She sneaks into the funeral hall to quietly pay her respects. She finally realizes no matter how young she looks, she's still an old woman who could die any time. There's no future with Sung-woo. As Korea's Got Talent reaches the finals, Mal-soon arrives early to prepare backstage, but Jiha is nowhere to be seen. He's still stuck in traffic. Their performance time is coming up. He can't wait any longer. He borrows a shared bike and rushes to the venue, but an accident happens at a corner. Meanwhile, the finals are in full swing. While anxiously waiting, they hear Jiha had a car accident. He's rushed to the hospital. His condition is critical. Sung-woo tells them to quit the competition and go to the hospital. He'll handle the competition for them. As the team prepares to leave, Mal-soon refuses to give up. She says firmly, "We'll sing. Only if we sing Jiha's song loud will he hear it. Then we'll tell Jiha how terrible his song sounds." Mal-soon knows clearly singing this song written by Jiha is the dream that kept Jiha going all this time. She wants to stand on stage for her grandson's dream. So before the dream comes true, she can't give up. Her grandson's song, performed by her, wins praise from the whole audience. As soon as the contest ends, Mal-soon rushes to the hospital. But bad news comes from the hospital. The blood bank is running low. Jiha has a very rare blood type. The hospital has no supply. If he doesn't get blood right away, his life will be in danger. Only Grandma shares Jiha's blood type. But where can they find her now? Just as the family loses hope, Mal-soon suddenly appears. She says, her blood type matches too, the same as Jiha's. Mr. Park's heart sinks. He pulls her into the stairwell to stop her. Losing too much blood will age her instantly. He asks what she's thinking. Mal-soon murmurs, "That's my grandson Jiha." Mr. Park can't bear to see her old again. He says, "You've suffered your whole life. You've lived your whole life for others. Now you finally have a chance to live for yourself. How can you give up so easily? Aren't you happy now as the singer you always dreamed of being? You even said, someone made your heart flutter again." But no matter how much Mr. Park tries to stop her, Mal-soon has already made up her mind. She walks out of the hallway without hesitation. Her conversation with Mr. Park is overheard by her son, Hyun-chul, outside. He finally confirms this young girl is his mother. Watching his mother rush to save his son, Hyun-chul stops her. Hyun-chul says his son he will find a way to save him himself. So please just go. He begs her to leave quickly, to get away from here. Stop eating leftovers thrown away by others. Stop working so hard at that smelly fish restaurant, and stop turning into a harsh woman just for your kids. Stop finding husbands who die too soon, and don't have ungrateful sons like me again. So please, he pleads desperately, just go. Mom. Mal-soon refuses. Even if she's born again, she would live the same way as before, no matter how hard life gets. She doesn't want to change anything, because only this way can she be his mother, and he can be her child. Hyun-chul cries and calls for his mom. Mal-soon calls her son by his nickname. Maybe Mal-soon has cried, hurt, and complained before, but she never regrets being a mother, nor raising her son. Even if she could start over, she would still give everything for her child. Finally, Mal-soon lets go of the man she loved. She bravely enters the operating room as her blood slowly flows into Jiha's body. Mal-soon's magical journey comes to an end some time later. Jiha's band wins first place. They hold a concert. Her granddaughter becomes the lead singer. Mal-soon doesn't go to the nursing home. She returns to her old appearance. She cheers for her grandson with her daughter-in-law. The family becomes much closer. Sadly, her love with Sung-woo doesn't work out. But when they meet again, they can face each other peacefully. Mal-soon doesn't regret falling in love. She also doesn't regret her choice. Now one day Mr. Park rides his motorcycle to pick up Malsoon as usual. When passing by the youth photo studio, he spots James Dean's photo in the window. He suddenly stops. This makes him a few minutes late. Malsoon scolds him for it. How dare you show off your riding skills when you're late? But when Mr. Park takes off his helmet, Malsoon freezes. Mr. Park now looks young and handsome again. He asks, so? Pretty cool, right? Malsoon shouts his name in shock. Now Mr. Park can finally live his teenage dream. That is, to have a wild romance with the girl he loves. Finally, the two ride the motorcycle into another magical adventure. Later, Malsoon asks if Mr. Park is allergic to peaches. Why do you still eat them every time? She laughs at how silly he is. Mr. Park says it's a real man's way of showing love.